let's discuss a little recruiting, shall we? And we already discussed all the visitors for June 30th. All right. That video is already up. Make sure to go check that out. Uh, then please do, because there's a lot of great information in there. And LSU had some big time visits going from 5-star offensive tackle Emmanuel Eincho. So make sure to go check that out. But now we're going to discuss some recruiting tidbits from because LSU will have another official visit day, and that will be on June 6th, and that will be, I believe that will be on Friday. Friday. And there's not as many as there were last Friday, but there's still three. There's still three recruits there that are heavily interested in LSU. 2 4-stars, 1 3-star. But these are 3 guys that LSU is heavily interested. If they weren't, they wouldn't be visiting campus right now on an official visit. And really, because there's only 3, that means the coaches will have a little bit more one-on-one time with each individual recruit. So let's get to it. So the first one I want to bring up is 4-star tight end Israel Briggs. Israel Briggs is from the great state of California, Redwood High School in Visalia, California. He is a 4-star recruit. If you look at his On3 industry ranking, and as we mentioned, that is the average ranking across the Big Four, which is On3, 24/7, ESPN, and Rivals. He is the 129th rated prospect in the country. He's a top 10 tight end, 8th nationally to be exact, and he's the 15th highest rated recruit from the state of California, and that's a pretty big deal. And like being 15th in California would be like being top 10 in Louisiana, just because of the amount of people in the state of California. Is the most populous state in the union. And the site that gives him the highest ranking is 24/7, which marks him 71st nationally. He's the 6th highest rated tight end in the country, and he's the 11th highest prospect in the state of California. So far, he got offered by a lot of different schools, a lot of SEC schools, as you see right here: Alabama, Texas A&M. Got an offer from Miami. I believe he was committed to Arizona State for a little bit before he decommitted. But Oregon, Auburn, Ole Miss, Washington, Michigan, Florida State, SMU, Florida, Nebraska. I mean, the list goes on. And yes, LSU has. I don't think they have offered him yet, but for him to be taking an official visit, if he hasn't got an offer, he definitely will. I got to double check to make sure, because sometimes the sites don't. So they might forget to update their who offered who. But once again, Israel Briggs is another guy that LSU is after. And look, and I've said this before about the tight end position, right? We all know Brian Kelly wants to build his teams around tight ends, right? We've discussed on the show that he likes to use 2 tight end sets. This year, you're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets with Trey Green, and Bauer Sharp, because they're both elite tight ends. Trey Green was one of the breakout stars for LSU last year, and then also Bauer Sharp was the leading receiver for Oklahoma the year before. And so you got 2 really good tight ends. Trey Green's more of a receiver than say Bauer Sharp, but you both can use them for their skill sets. All right, Bauer Sharp's more of a traditional tight end who can also catch the ball really well, and of course, Trey Green is a freak. He also played a lot of significant minutes for the basketball team. All right, you can see here he's a pretty nifty dude for being 6'5" and 6'5" and 220. Right, he's listed 205, but he's going to gain some weight because he's a tight end. But he is lined up out wide, and really people forget too. That's where Trey Green was. Trey Green lined up out wide. He barely put his hand in the dirt when he was at Zachary High School, right? They just lined up wide, and it's like, all right, hey, we're gonna throw the ball deep to you. You're taller than everybody on the field, and we expect you to make the play. And that's exactly what he did. But Israel Briggs, and as you can tell, probably has a very similar skill set to Trey Green, and also has the same number as Trey Green. But you can see the speed right there. I mean, he outran, three guys. I mean, ran right between them too. So he's a very athletic kid. Can play out wide, but he will be a tight end by the time he gets to college, and that's somebody that LSU really wants. I mean, like I said, Brian Kelly wants to build a team with tight ends. I mean, just going back to Cincinnati, right? He recruited Travis Kelce, go to Notre Dame. Look how many times a tight end was an All-American at Notre Dame. I mean, now at LSU, he's continuing with the division. Mason Taylor was a 3-star recruit in high school. Now he's the leading receiver among in the tight end position in LSU history. He's an all-time leader in touchdown catches, receiving yards at LSU at the end. So we know Brian Kelly heavily invested in building LSU. We've seen how big the tight end has grown. I mean, before he got here, the only tight end you had was really Cole Taylor. Now you have as many as 3-4 tight ends in your tight end room at the same time. He's probably more receivers. He looks more like I know he's gonna play tight end, but it's like, damn, he could be an excellent possession receiver as well. I mean, he looks like a receiver, but it looks like he's gonna get some way to be a tight end. I mean, that's where he's getting recruited at. But anyway, on to the next guy, and that is KJ Edwards. KJ Edwards is a 4-star running back from the state of Texas, from Carthage High School, which is one of the top programs in the state of Texas right now. He is, if you look at his On3 industry ranking, 45th nationally, the 4th best running back in the country, and the 6th best prospect out of the state of Texas. So he is a blue chip recruit, right? If you're top 10 in the state of Texas, you're top 5 running back nationally, that is a blue chip recruit, in my opinion, right? And I think that's what it is, but I'm just telling you my opinion. The best ranking that he's given out of the big 4 sites is by On3, 38th nationally, the 3rd best running back in the country, and the number 3 player in the state of Texas. Right after that, 24/7 Rivals have very similar rankings, right? 24/7 and Rivals have as the 47th and 48th best recruit. The number 2 running back nationally, and they both have him as a top 10 running back. 24/7 has him as the 5th best running back, 5th best player in the state of Texas. Rivals 6th best player in the state of Texas. Right now, Texas looks like he might be the favorite. Of course, Texas has done a really good job at keeping some of the best players in the state, which is something they've actually struggled with in the past. I mean, Tom Herman kind of flipped the script a little bit, but Steve Sarkisian absolutely finished building that wall. It looks like it would be hard to get some of the best recruits from the state of Texas. And not only that, because of his aggressive recruiting style, but also Texas has the bag. They really do. And if you look at some of this junior high, 7 minutes long, but over 2,000 all-purpose yards, 143 carries, nearly 800 yards of rushing. And I mean, he's 5'10", 180, but he can run downhill. As you saw, he broke a lot of tackles in the middle of the field. Was basically in the pile, and he broke out of it for a long touchdown run. I mean, if you look at it, Carthage runs a kind of more of a pro style. The quarterback's under the center, and he is kind of like Caden Durham in a sense, right? Caden Durham is, is kind of an Eastern West runner, but he can break tackles. He has the ability to break tackles, and that's something. He has elite speed. He can break tackles. He can run north south, east west. It doesn't matter. You saw right there. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's Caden Durham. I mean, they're both very similar stats, right? Caden Durham is around the same size, 5'9", 200. KJ Edwards is 5'10", 180, 185. But very similar skill sets. They both have great speed, They both can break tackles, and they can both run between the trenches. They can run inside the trenches and without any hesitation whatsoever. So LSU's really trying to the running back room. That running back room really has been one of the strongest positions on LSU's roster. Can't really say back room because outside Caden they barely got any production out of their room. That's really the next step for LSU is to keep building that running back room because the quarterback room set the offensive line, although they had to replace 4 of the top 5 offensive linemen from last year. The offensive line room is in a much better situation than when Brian Kelly took over. Tight ends, we just talked about that. And of course, we all know that you're always going to have abundance of receivers when you're at the Louisiana State University. But that's KJ Edwards. He'll be visiting this Friday at the Ponderosa, and hopefully LSU can make a big impression because LSU needs as many. Oh, what a play! Oh man. Well, that was a blindside block, but what a moment! What a play! He's still up. But that guy. I mean, he looks like he'd be a stud. Hopefully LSU can get him, but right now it looks like Texas in the running, but LSU can make a big impression on the 4-star running back from the state of Texas. The next guy we're going to talk about here, and this is the third and final visitor that I know of, right? There could be some more along the way, but this is the guys that I know for a fact are visiting. You have J.J. Finch. J.J. Finch is a 6'3", 260-pound defensive lineman from the state of Indiana. He went to Warren Central High School in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is actually the same high school that Damian Shanklin went to. Damian Shanklin was a part of the last recruiting class of 2025. He enrolled early during the spring at LSU, and he actually was getting some reps with the second team. So he could be a guy that could get some could possibly be in the rotation this season. He impressed the coaches a lot during the spring. So there's a connection right there for LSU. They're trying to that, but he's a 3-star defensive lineman. And look, I don't like to really pay attention to look. Yes, stars matter to an extent, but to me, what matters more is who is offered him. Right, LSU is the favorite right now, actually, right, and that has a lot to do with the fact that they have one of his former teammates on the team currently. Damian Shanklin was his teammate at Warren Central. But LSU's already offered him Alabama, Miami, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Michigan, Florida, Louisville, Ohio State, Penn State, Washington, Oklahoma. Like, those are all big-time Power 4 programs. So, yes, he is a 3-star, but look at the schools that they just offered kids like that out of nowhere because they think he's a really good player. And they think it'd be a key team just based off of Washington play. And this is a guy, he could play on the edge. He could also play on the inside. He's a lot like Ahmad Bro, where Ahmad Bro was, he could play off the edge, but he could also play on the inside. You saw there, he bull rushed from the middle, and he made an excellent sack. He basically bullied him and pushed him down. Look at that. He plays with a lot of force, uses his hands very well. You see the technique there. He's excellent. He's excellent at the bull rush. We saw 2 plays where he just absolutely blew up the defensive line. He's kind of like a hybrid. He can play in the middle. He can also be an effective guy outside the edge. And he's just made an interception right there, actually, dropping back. But you can tell he's a very versatile guy, a lot like Ahmad Bro. Ahmad Bro was a very versatile guy at Ruston High School. He could play on the inside and the outside. He was listed as a defensive end, but you could kind of tell LSU wanted to move him to defensive tackle, and that's exactly what he did. And he had a lot of success. He started like the last half of the games for LSU, right? And he gained 30 to 40 pounds, became a defensive tackle, and became a force on the inside. And I expect him to have a big year for LSU as his former defense coordinator and position coach at Ruston is now his defensive line coach at LSU, and that is Kyle Williams. But yeah, like he's very versatile, has very athletic. He's like I said, 6'3", 260. Can play on the inside and he can play on the edge. You know, great pass rusher, but also is an effective run stopper as well. And you could tell, like, he looks built. He doesn't I don't think he has any fat on his body whatsoever. He looks like a defensive end, but he's 6'3", 260, and he could get a little bit bigger as well.